Welcome to Breakfast with Bacon. We have Doug Bacon, who is the managing partner here at Throwing Words, and his last name inspired our series. We have Julie Zalua, who we fondly call Jay-Z, in the background, making magic happen. We have MC Lord, that's Mary Cathryn Lord, and she's going to talk to us about her early career adventures and how that relates to her strengths. And then you have me, Lynn Ingersoll, your host. So welcome, everybody. We're glad you're with us. We have been doing this series as an opportunity to share what we're learning. We were very surprised early on as we were working remotely, even though we're used to working remotely, we were learning a lot about each other and our clients. So we're inviting people in to share what they're learning in our hopes that you will take that learning and apply it to your environment. So MC, we are delighted to have you with us this morning. We hear that you actually went to Millsaps, I believe, as a political science and government major, did a little bit of work in politics, and part of which you really liked and part of which didn't really suit you. Would you chat a little bit and share what you're learning about your strengths and what's working and how you're applying it out there?
Absolutely. So just like you said, I got my bachelor's degree in Jackson, Mississippi at Millsaps College. I was a political science major and ended up working in the field for a couple of years afterwards. And I went from consulting to data work to campaigning. And there were pieces of it that I was definitely excited by, and really just slowly realized it was kind of a slow burn realization that it just was not quite suiting me anymore. And I really did not have the words to describe why. So part of the Strengths Finders results and the conversations with them have really helped me be able to talk about why it wasn't working for me. And it's given me less, I guess, anxiety about why the career path I had originally chosen wasn't working. And the more we talk about the strengths and my lesser strengths, which are not weaknesses, but the pieces that I'm not fueled by, I'm able to see that there are other career paths that fit me really well. And so that's how I leapt into nursing quite randomly, but it has suited me so far. And I think that it is in some ways similar to politics, with the fast-paced environment that a lot of my strengths do focus with, but has less of the communication and social aspects that my strengths are not working.
Great.
Yeah.
Well, and it sounds like nursing is certainly an essential area of work. And I know during this pandemic, that's been a real key, is which jobs are the essential ones. Well, Doug, I'm curious, would you share your thoughts on working with MC and your insights on things that you noticed that were able to help her? I love that it reduced your anxiety about things. So, Doug, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, so I was making all these notes, MC, as you were talking, because it's like all these strengths start popping out in terms of just the, thinking about the consulting, kind of the progression from the consulting to the data piece to the field, and how with each step, the consulting, how that played to some of your strengths in terms of, and the data as well, just that analytical, that kind of, being able to do the analysis, but once you've done that analysis, you have a distinct perspective. And so being able to put that perspective forward and do that confidently, and with the sprinkling in that fast paced where things are happening, moving quickly, really does play into a lot of your talents. And interesting to make the connection thinking about nursing and politics. Because people are essential to both of those, but they're also not necessarily the end result, right? That, so in thinking about nursing, you've got the fast pace, as you mentioned, and you also have that discretion to do what you know needs to be done. And you are working with others. I mean, you're on a team of people, but you have the discretion to do and kind of the ability to do what you need to do when you need to do it. I know, because when we had talked before about some of the project work that you would do in college, the frustrating piece of it's just a lot easier for you just to go off and do it yourself, right? Because no one else is going to do it to the excellence that you will, maximizer, or as fast and efficiently as you will, achiever, or can put forth your distinct view, distinct perspective, kind of that command and analytical. And so all of that kind of makes sense. And so to find an environment that is a team environment, but you're able to do what you need to do on that team. Like I think about nursing and shift, that you've got the patients during the shift and then you're handing off to others. But you're able to do what needs to happen based on what you've learned and in your training and kind of on the spot analysis too. I think it's really cool.
Well, since you are early in your career and you're learning a lot about your strengths and how they are applied, what suggestions do you have for others that are early in their career of how they might reduce their own anxiety and how this strengths work might help them?
Sure. So when we started having these conversations, I was really just struck by how individualized this is and how helpful this would be early on. Like growing up, we take so many like career tests to see where we best fit, and they are kind of strength oriented. But I think when you're given these strengths, these top 10 profiles for yourself, you're really able to kind of see what fits best with those, but also your interests. And having these strengths, knowing that, like having words to describe myself and what I'm good and what I'm exhausted by at the same time, really have helped me be, like I said earlier, much less anxious about things that haven't worked out, which I think is a really big problem with early career. Early career anxiety is very real. And there's always a fear of burning out or it not working out and having to change. And so having this profile to help really build confidence in what you're good at and what you're good at, and that it's okay that your bottom 10 are your bottom 10. And there are other people who aren't that way, that compliment you and help you. Yeah, it's very helpful to know your strengths and to talk with leaders in the field who can help you find that route that works best for you.
I'm just so delighted that you're able to take this time and really maximize that learner in you and take a new career path. And I know for me, just listening to both you and Doug, I'm really taking away how the strengths work can reduce your anxiety to help you really put into words how your strengths can help you and what areas to just not focus on as much because they are on the lower talents.
Right.
Well, we are thrilled that you joined us today. We hope you'll come back as you go through some of your classes.
I would love to.
We want to invite the folks out there in the audience listening to really think about how strengths might help reduce your own anxiety, especially if you are in your early career or if you have someone in your circle that's in early career. So thank you all for being with us, and we'll look forward to seeing you again next week. Over and out. Thank you.